Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's edition of the Weekly Wrap-Up. I'm Brubaker.
And I'm Jessica Lee. On today's show, you'll be joining us in our conversation about this week's biggest headlines in the news, and we're going to start off with the biggest, Donald Trump winning the presidency.
Yep, this is a pretty big one.
He's going to be the 47th president of the United States, and the facts are that Wisconsin is his winning state. On Wednesday afternoon, that's what brought him to 270 electoral votes.
Yes.
Yes.
And shortly after he got the 270 electoral votes, his rival Kamala Harris called him Wednesday afternoon and congratulated him and conceded to that he won this election.
And that's pretty quick.
That is pretty quick.
Compared to what we saw last election. There's a lot of,
controversy?
Not accepting defeat, all that. But also Joe Biden did also call him that afternoon.
He did.
And congratulated him and welcomed him into the White House.
Yes, and we do also have a map that showcases the specific final results in regards to the electorals.
Yes.
I don't know if it's actually all the way final, but it's what they've counted up until this point. And Donald Trump is currently at 295 electoral votes, and Kamala is at 226. Yeah. So kind of an unexpected turnout for this election, I think.
Very unexpected.
I was not expecting it at all, but
a lot of controversy.
Yeah. I am just glad that it is being more diplomatic, at least in the big policies, or in the big political scene
up there.
right now. Yes,
not
at the
down
top.
Here.
Not down here.
So, moving on.
Moving on. Immediately following the election, the U.S. stock market had quite the day on Wednesday. So
quite the day.
Yeah, they did. The S&P rallied up 2.5% for its best day in nearly 2 years. The S&P 500 is just like the big, 500 biggest companies in the United States represented in stocks.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is the best day they've had in the last couple of years, at least for the S&P 500.
So it's good for the people who are investing in them.
But it's not specifically because Trump got elected. The U.S. stock market has historically tended to rise following Election Day, but this is just a bit more than it normally does.
Cool.
We don't have too much more to say on this story,
if you're a stock person, then this is good news for you, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then we have Ukraine and North Korea.
Yes, we do. This is kind of a follow-up for what we were talking about over the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
But so the North Korea and Russia story, just in case anybody missed it, North Korea sent roughly 3,000 troops over to Russia to assist in the war in Ukraine. But the follow-up is they actually got engaged, or not got engaged, they didn't get married.
They got engaged.
But
it's over.
The North Korean troops and the Ukrainian troops have engaged in combat now, which is...
It's escalating again.
It's escalating, which is not what we want to see.
But what would you have expected?
No, I mean...
There's troops in there, obviously.
It was going to happen eventually, but it's just... The escalation is not what we want to see.
Yeah. Putting all these politics aside, we have a fun story. Not fun for Peanut, but a New York man is pleading with the state for taking away his pet squirrel. That's Peanut on the screen. According to the guy, at least 6 officers showed up at his house or his place of residence without a search warrant and just took the squirrel and left.
Why? Because of risk of rabies or something?
Risk of rabies. I guess they got many anonymous complaints that he was housing wildlife. He was illegally housing wildlife. So I just they arrested the squirrel. They didn't arrest him. Why didn't they arrest him for that? What did the squirrel do?
I guess they just seized the squirrel. That's so funny.
Yeah. And I don't know if I said that. His name was Peanut.
Well, I hope the squirrel is all right. I hope Peanut is all right.
Yeah. His many followers online are supporting him in this time.
Well, we wish Peanut all the best.
Yes.
And hope that he is in good hands right now.
Well,
you want to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. That's all we have for today. Make sure you check out Inside Swoop on Facebook and Instagram to find more details about the stories that we covered today.
Of course. Yes. And thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of the Weekly Wrap-Up. I'm Brubaker.
And I'm Jessica Lee.
And we'll see you next time.